Hello everyone. I hope you're doing good and you're staying safe. I was just reading a book and I found a couple of key points which motivated me that I should make a video of this book. So I'll be sharing some highlights of the book called Attitude is Everything, and it has been written by Jeff Keller. So, this book is not a very lengthy book. It's a thin book and it comprises of 128 pages. So, I'll just share with you that this book has actually been divided into three parts. The first part mentions about success begins in the mind. The second part is watch your words, and the third part is heaven helps those who act. I will also try not to read out each and every word from the book, but I'll try to describe as much as possible in my own language whatever has been mentioned in the book. So there is a very good point which talks about things when we are taking a stand in our life. So it's mentioned that we often have to let go of some things in our life and take a few steps backward before we can actually move forward in a new direction. It has got a lot of depth in these couple of words. Now, the author gives us a definition of attitude. What is actually attitude? And it caught my attention. So I'll just go through it. The first is the person with a negative attitude thinks I can't, whereas a person with a positive attitude thinks I can. The person with the negative attitude dwells on problems, whereas a person with the positive attitude concentrates on solutions. The person with the negative attitude finds fault with others, whereas the person with positive attitude looks for the good in others. The person with the negative attitude focuses on what's missing. The person with the positive attitude counts his or her blessings. The person with the negative attitude sees limitations. The person with the positive attitude sees possibilities. It also describes in the second lesson that we all are human magnets. Whether we think we can or we think we can't, we are absolutely right. And this has been written by Henry Ford, that we become what we think about. It also describes how our circumstances reflect what we have been thinking about. Are we constantly thinking about having enough money, or we are dwelling on that thought, a lack of funds? And this particular thought will actually block the flow of money to us, and it's very true in its own sense. And then there is a matter of relationships. If we think that we do not deserve much, we will only attract friends and partners into our life who will not treat us well. We all know someone who has always been going out with the wrong person. In fact, the last 29 people they have gone out with were actually wrong for them. The author further describes that this is not just a mere coincidence. There is actually a deeply held belief inside the particular individual that attracts those people into his or her life. And whether we are talking about finances or careers, the fact remains, if our thoughts do not change, our results will never change. It's very true, actually. Then the next chapter describes the magic of commitment. When we make a commitment and are willing to do whatever it takes, We begin to attract the people and circumstances necessary to accomplish our goal. It's not that these resources were never existing before, but it actually just is that our mind was never focusing on finding them. Once we commit ourselves to something, we actually create a mental picture of what it would be to achieve it. And then our mind subconsciously goes to work like a magnet, attracting those events and circumstances which will actually help to bring that particular picture into reality. It also describes how doors will open one after the other with just the mere power or the magic of commitment. When we have the willingness to do whatever it takes, the right steps are often revealed to us suddenly. We will all start meeting people we never have planned to meet. The doors will unexpectedly open for us. It might seem like luck or a good fortune is smiling on us. In truth, we will actually have created these positive events by making a commitment and thus instructing our mind to look for them. We also have to take into consideration that just the power of commitment is not enough. It's actually the time with which or at which we make a particular commitment. Let's assume that we have a goal in mind. Now, the next question to ask ourselves is, am I willing to do whatever it takes to achieve this goal? If our answer is, I'll just do something about it, except that I won't do a certain thing, then frankly, it's not commitment. And if you are actually not committed, it's likely that you will be derailed and not achieve the objective. For instance, we also meet many people who will start a new business or a new line of interest with this particular approach that I'll just give it 6 months to prosper, and if things do not work out after 6 months, I will quit. This is not a mental attitude that leads to success. That's where commitment separates the winners from the losers. The committed people will be definitely hanging in and will prevail no matter what. And if it takes a little longer than they thought, so it be. Those who aren't committed are going to give up the ship when things do not go their way. The next lesson is about turning our problems into opportunities. We see a problem is often not a problem at all. It may actually be an opportunity. For instance, a problem may point out an adjustment we have to make to improve certain conditions in our life. Without the problem, we would never have taken this positive action. So now in this chapter, the author has given us a very beautiful insight about adversity. So before going to those points, let's understand what does adversity actually mean. Well, adversity brings out our hidden potential, and there are a couple of key points which were definitely worth sharing. So let's start with a few of them. The first one is, adversity gives us perspective. Once we have recovered from, suppose, a life-threatening disease or an illness or a leaky roof, for example, doesn't seem so troubling anymore. We will actually be able to rise above the petty issues of daily living and focus our attention on the truly important things in our life. The second one is, adversity teaches us to be grateful. Through problems and difficulties, especially those which involve loss or deprivation, we will develop a deeper appreciation for many aspects in our life. For example, maybe when we do not have any hot water, we will suddenly value the hot water. Or maybe we are not keeping well, we will definitely cherish good health. The third point is adversity brings out our hidden potential. After surviving a difficult ordeal or after overcoming an obstacle, we emerge emotionally stronger. Life has tested us that time, and when the next hurdle appears, we are better equipped to handle it. Problems and challenges bring out the best within us. We discover abilities we never knew we possessed. Many of us would never have discovered these talents if life hadn't made us travel over some bumpy ground. The next point is adversity encourages us to make changes and take actions, because we see many people who are clinging to old or familiar patterns regardless of how painful their lives have become. Problems are often life's ways of letting us know that we are definitely not on the right track and we need to take corrective actions. The next point is adversity opens a new door. Maybe when a relationship terminates and we go to a more satisfying relationship, we lose our job and we find a better one. In all these instances, the problem is not a problem at all, but rather an opportunity in disguise. One door in our life has been shut, but there is a better one waiting to be opened. The next part of the book, which is the part 2 of the book, emphasizes on watching our words. There is also a very beautiful quote which has been written by Tom Hopkins, which says, "Repeat anything often enough and it will start to become you." It's a very powerful and a very deep quote, I believe. It also says that the words which we consistently select will shape our destiny. This quote has been written by Anthony Robbins. So here is the way how the author has beautifully described it, how our subconscious mind has got so much of power to actually drive us in the way in which we are working. So let's understand the entire process. The first thing is, we can think of this process as a row of dominoes that looks like the thoughts drive into words, words drive us into beliefs, beliefs drives into actions, and actions takes us to results. Now here is how it works. Now suppose there is a person called Tom, and Tom has a thought such as, "I'm not very good when it comes to sales." Now let's remember that he doesn't have this thought only once. He will run it through his mind on a regular basis, maybe hundreds or thousands of times in his life. After that, Tom starts to use these words that support this thought. He will say to his friends and colleagues, "I'm never going to do very well in sales," or "I just hate making sales calls or approaching prospects." If we can deeply understand this, here also what Tom is doing is, Tom is repeating these phrases over and over in his self-talk and in his discussion with others. Now this in turn, what will do, it will strengthen his beliefs, and it's at this stage where our words are actually making something powerful. We see everything that we will achieve in our life flows from our own beliefs. So, in our sales example, what happens is Tom develops the belief that he is not going to be successful in sales and that he won't earn much money. This becomes embedded in his subconscious mind. Now let's understand what can possibly flow from that belief. Because Tom doesn't believe in his sales ability, he takes very little action, or he takes actions which will not be that much productive. He doesn't do the things that would be necessary to succeed in sales. And then, most obviously, Tom will definitely get poor results. And also, to make matter worse, or to make things worse, Tom will start to think more negative thoughts, repeat more negative words, reinforce more negative beliefs, and get even more negative results. It's a vicious cycle. So, the entire summary of this particular story is that people who feed themselves a steady diet of negative words are destined to have a negative attitude. It's a simple matter of cause and effect. We can't keep repeating negative words and expect to be a high achiever, and that's because negative words will always lead to the reinforcement of negative beliefs and eventually to negative outcomes. Now, there is also an important thing which describes that to tell or not to tell. To begin with, use positive self talk as often as possible, and the key is that we hear this positive input again and again, and it should become deeply rooted in our subconscious mind. Now, the question is to tell or not to tell. Now, the author describes these two situations where if we tell our thoughts, even our positive thoughts, to a negative person, what will be the consequences, and also if we tell our positive thoughts to a positive person, what will be the consequences. So it further describes, the author further describes that we should never discuss our goals with negative people, because all they can do or will do is argue and point out all the reasons why we will not be successful. Whereas on the other hand, there are instances where we will actually benefit by telling others about our goals. We also need to make sure that we are speaking with someone who is extremely positive and totally supportive of our efforts. This should be the kind of person who would be absolutely delighted if we have achieved this goal, and would do anything in his or her power to assist us. We may have a friend or a colleague that fits this role, or certainly family members. I hope that you have liked, or maybe you have got certain beautiful insights from this book, and I will share the next part of this book in my next video. Thank you for listening to me, and if you like my videos, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.